Chapter 771, Going Crazy. 16 heads. The Danish team didn't expect it. And neither did the Dutch team. The two teams originally thought of going together. But in an instant, all their ideas and arrangements were shattered. The Danish team was still a little slow to the point of death. After the Dutch team rescued the people. For people rushed across the road? Didn't encounter any resistance. But a gunshot from Car 98K instantly broke the tranquility on the field. Danish team member falls to the ground. And then in the next few seconds, the Xia national team actually had a team battle with the Danish team. Ibiza raised her hand and looked. The Danish team has been wiped out. But only one person from the Xiagwa team fell to the ground. Beat! Ibiza felt that Mao Xiaomo was making a move. But this is precisely where Mao Xiaomo is strong. Whether it is a dramatic comeback at the end of the last set or various situations. Mao Xiaomo's strongest point lies in his judgment of the situation and speculation on the opponent's psychology. If you don't witness these things with your own eyes, it will be difficult to believe that there can be so many things in an FPS game. But now the Dutch team still has the advantage. There is one more in their number. So the moment I saw the Xiagwa team was reduced in number, he rushed over decisively. The Dutch team here is going to fight hard. Wang Hao is saving people. Is it in time? Msjoy said. You should have come in time. There should be no time to spray medicine. Fortunately, the judgment of the situation is very accurate. Mao Xiaomo held the front. And Zhou Lily also moved around the room, preparing to trick the Dutch team. Lily Zhou is in a position that the Dutch team would never have imagined. Yes. Take a look. There is no time for Xiagwa team members and fans to prepare. In just a few seconds after the Danish team was wiped out, the Dutch team rushed to the nearest point of the Xia national team. Mao Xiaomo reached out and fired a few shots. Ibiza also responded immediately. The Xiagwa team is also constantly communicating within the team. Zhou Lily is also waiting for the most suitable time to attack. Originally, the two sides were on relatively fair terrain. But the Dutch team knew that the Xia team was missing one person. The fight is also quite aggressive. This is their only chance. After watching the amazing comeback completed by the Xiagwa team in the last set and their excellent state, Ibiza does not believe that the current Dutch team can defeat the Xiagwa team in a head-on 4v4 team battle. But the Dutch team beat us. Directly expose all your positions. MC was also rescued. The Dutch team has all rushed over. A melee fight between 8 people. Beat! Mao Xiaomo gave the order. For members of the Xiagwa team rushed out at the same time. Zhou Lily attracted the first wave of firepower from the Dutch team. It also gave the rest of the Xiagwa team plenty of output time. The Xiagwa team synchronized play was perfect. Ibiza is in the process of charging. Suddenly he saw 3 members of the Xiagwa team appearing in front of him at the same time. The gun in his hand subconsciously pointed in the direction of Zhou Lily. Xiagwa team is in tacit understanding and synchronization. They have all reached the pinnacle of this final. Just like they have trained countless times in the United States. For people went out, they found their respective goals instantly. If it is an ordinary team, it is very likely that there will be overlap of firepower in this kind of battle involving 4 people. But there are 4 people in Xiagwa team. They all kill their respective targets first. All of a sudden, the gap between the Dutch team and the Xiagwa team was instantly reflected. The 3 players of the Dutch team all subconsciously started Zhou Lily. Zhou Lily is too close to them. Zhou Lily was also instantly beaten. But this brief exchange of fire, a wave of swaps, MC and Zhou Lily fell to the ground. On the other side, all 3 teammates except Ibiza fell to the ground. Msjoy and Yehao subconsciously looked at the formation of Xiagwa team and the Netherlands team, and then shouted, Pretty! Nice! A wave of 2 for 3. It's still MC with low health. Wang Hao and Mao Xiaomo were so reckless, Msjoy exclaimed, after instantly judging the situation on the field. Mao Xiaomo and Wang Hao did not communicate. Both directions. He rushed out directly. MC fell to the ground twice. The blood loss will be very fast. The Xiagwa team does not want to reduce its numbers at this place. And 2-on-1. Both Wang Hao and Mao Xiaomo have absolute confidence. The two of them have a perfect understanding. Posted directly around the room area. There was no time to give Ibiza medicine and he rushed out. Ibiza gave up the medicine immediately after hearing the footsteps. We can only force it up. Although he only has half health. Ibiza has no choice. If he retreats at this time, all his teammates will have to be replaced. And all Xiagwa team members will be rescued. He does not think that Xiagwa team will let it go. He for people have forcibly searched the entire northern R city housing area, and they will definitely clear him out. FXCK! Ibiza screamed. He hesitated for a moment. Just for a moment. He came up with the idea of going around and forcibly replacing the two Siagwa team members they knocked down. In this way, even if the Siagwa team can defeat them as a team, the probability of winning the chicken will be much smaller. But it's not like they have no chance of winning now. When I was hesitating at Ibiza, Mao Xiaomo and Wang Hao also rushed forward. Ibiza can only be dragged out and beaten. But Mao Xiaomo's gun is more decisive. Faster. The blood volume is also much healthier than Ibiza. Direct headshot kill. CHN_MO used M16A4 to kill NED_Ibiza with a headshot. Dutch team. The group is destroyed. Beautiful. So strong. Msjoy and Yehao shouted excitedly. Not only them, but also the audience at the scene and those still watching the battle in Xia Kingdom. Too strong. The Siagwa team is really too strong. After the Xia national team defeated the Dutch team, the situation in the entire northern circle has also been calmed down. Just one circle shrinking time. Siagwa's team destroyed 4 entire teams. A total of 4. Colombia, Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands. The 4 teams charged towards the Siagwa team one after another. The result is to kill one team to kill another team. And 2 teams to kill one pair. 16 heads. The flash is dazzling. I can't stop it! The Siagwa team is really unstoppable now. Msjoy was not afraid of poisonous milk and shouted excitedly. Once upon a time, who would have thought that the Siagwa team could kill everyone on the highest stage of FPS competition? Terrifying firepower. In the upper right corner, Siagwa's team's kill information has never been interrupted. The team on the field also swallowed silently. The Siagwa team has already gone crazy. Can they really resist it? Chapter 772 School. There were endless cheers at the scene. You can imagine how Siagwa team fans are feeling now. Killed 4 teams in a row. If you want to target the Siagwa team, you must be prepared to be counterattacked. They completely forgot about themselves and were swallowing nervously just a second ago. The 4th circle has been refreshed. All the teams in the northern circle were cleaned up by the Siagwa team. And the Siagwa team is still full. The team on the field has undergone a relatively large-scale attrition. But the US team is still in a very good position. This should be the Siagwa team's biggest opponent. Msjoy analyzed calmly. Yes. Although Siagwa team defeated 4 teams in a row, Siagwa team's position is not very good from a positional point of view. And the American team is on the school's side, which can block Siagwa team's route into the circle. It's a bit difficult to handle. Yihao Yidao. From a positional perspective alone, Siagwa team's position is considered very poor. But because of this battle, the morale of Siagwa team has been greatly improved. All the fans are cheering. The Siagwa team is also in very hot shape. Just like Mao Xiaomo said, this set is their best chance. Circle 5. The amplitude of this circle is not very large. But when there is not much space in the center of the circle, this circle is very critical. Msjoy said. The 5th safe zone is refreshed. An eastern cutaway circle. Oh! It's a corner circle. This corner circle is relatively easy for Siagwa team to enter. But what to do in the next circle is a problem. Msjoy said. Team Siagwa can definitely walk down from the water tower. There is a nice pit and reverse slope on the edge of the circle. But the center of this circle is at the school. Although the distance from our city to the school is only more than 100 meters. Anyone who is not stupid will know that the firepower and attention of the American team are now primarily directed towards the Siagwa team. There is no doubt about this. The Siagwa team had almost no chance of rushing through. Mao Xiaomo knew it himself. Don't move in a hurry yet. Let's see if there's going to be a fight at school. Mao Xiaomo said to the others. They don't have to worry now. No matter whether they go west or go straight to school, they will be stopped by the American team. Siagwa's current position. If you throw away all the cigarettes in your hands, you should be able to successfully stick to the school. But it might be difficult for the Siagwa team to have no throwing objects. And they don't know how to clear this circle. So the Siagwa team should not act rashly. Msjoy analyzed that it was completely in line with Siagwa team's thoughts. Because this is the 5th circle. If there is an eastern corner or a northern corner in the next circle, then if the Siagwa team runs out of smoke, they will definitely not be able to come out of the school. Look at Team USA over here. His. Although it's a bit unreasonable, it's very smart, Msjoy said helplessly. Both Nothing and Iron are players who know Mao Xiaomo very well. No matter where the Siagwa team is, they must be stuck. even if they led in the team from the school district. 4 people, holding on to the Seogwa team at the 4 windows inside the school. They didn't know if they could stop the Seogwa team, but their primary goal would definitely not change. The protagonist of this circle is not the Seogwa team side, but the Widow Village side. This cutaway circle allows Widow's Village to be brushed on the edge of the circle. If you look at the location of Widow's Village, there are housing areas on the north and south of the road, and more than one team can stay there. And the fighting is also very intense. There were 16 teams, and the number had been halved by the end of the 5th round. Only 8 left. The 8 eliminated teams naturally set their sights on the Seogwa team, and there was nothing they could do. Okay, look at this circle. Actually, I think what Seogwa team wants most is a concentric circle. Such a circle can guarantee 100% success in clearing the school. Seogwa team should rush into the school without any scruples. Otherwise, Seogwa team's current terrain it's really not easy to handle, Joy said, because the Seogwa team's position is not good. There is no possibility of Destiny Circle at all. So everyone has no expectations. There are only 2 differences between this circle for Seogwa team, difficult to enter and very difficult to enter. Relatively speaking, staying in the school is an acceptable circle type for Seogwa team. The Seogwa team's vehicles are in very good condition. They have cars from the Swedish team and Colombia, plus their own cars. So they have a variety of models to choose from. Seogwa's team still has 1 motorcycle and 3 jeeps, which is very stable. Yes, there is nothing we can do. If they hit the planes, they still need jeeps to set up bunkers. Yes, Team Seo cannot afford to gamble, the commentators analyzed. At this point in the game, a single decision may affect the situation of the game, and no one dares to be careless. The 5th safe zone has been reached. The 6th circle is refreshed. As soon as the circle was drawn, the Seogwa team immediately started spreading smoke. Okay, it's a concentric circle. Seogwa team is going to start spreading smoke. It's acceptable for Team Seo, Joy shouted. In this circle, the school is placed in the center of the circle. The Widow Village and the school district room, 2 places where several teams are hidden, must be moved. The best target is undoubtedly school. This circle could be a school scuffle. Let's see how Seogwa team handles it, Joy said seriously. It's rare to see the school circle on the stage of the finals. In addition to the American team and the Korean team that are already in the school, the other 6 teams have to rush to the school. Wang Hao, raise your gun. Clear. The smoke from all the team members began to spread. Smoke begins to fill the entire north. Fortunately, the Seogwa team is not far from the school. There is no such opportunity for the Widow Village or the school district to force their way in. Seogwa team didn't drive here. Smart move. Joy saw 3 members of the Seogwa team except Wang Hao rushing into the circle. Instead of driving the few cars they left behind, they chose to enter the circle on foot. Yes, if the American team is driving, they can judge the approximate position of the Seogwa team even by listening to the sound. But if they are walking, the American team has no way. It's easy to analyze. Look at Team USA in a blink of an eye. For people were also involved in the crazy strafing smoke. Mao Xiaomo was also seriously injured and disabled. But fortunately, the American team had no chance to discover the position of the Seogwa team. After taking a big dose of medicine, Mao Xiaomo continued to move forward and reached the edge of the circle without any danger. The Seogwa team's smoke formation sealed off no gaps at all, giving the American team no chance. Chapter 773, 1 step away. The Seogwa team did not choose to have all 4 of them close to the housing area. Wang Hao still stayed on the top of the hill to set up his gun. Then Wang Hao's position is a bit difficult. But he has a motorcycle, Joy said. Although Wang Hao was in a very dangerous position, there was a motorcycle beside Wang Hao. This location is very necessary. Otherwise, if 4 people stick next to the school, the team from the school district may go around the hill here and hit the Seogwa team's back directly. Yes. Wang Hao breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that Seogwa's team had successfully arrived at the dormitory area and randomly started setting up teams from the school district building. As Mao Xiaomo's most trusted and familiar teammate, he has been doing this kind of tiring job of swearing for a long time. Although it is very easy to die on the court as a free agent, he has also found himself on the court. The safe zone begins to refresh. Da-da-da. Da-da. The 6th circle is brushed, except for the 3 teams from Seoul Kingdom, the United States and South Korea. The other 5 teams have all started to move. After the fierce battle in the previous circle, There were only 3 teams left in the school district building. The 2 teams in Widow Village here did not fight. One chose to go around to the mountains on the north side, and the other chose to rush directly from the plains by spreading smoke. After the Siagwa team successfully entered the room, the American team also began to block the surrounding enemies. If the situation became very complicated, which was not their intention, a simpler situation would also be a problem for the American team, which now has relatively complete information. Very good news. But next to the school, except for the team from the school district building who have a slight chance to enter the circle, the 2 teams from the Widow Village have to pass through a huge plain whether they are walking from the west or the north. Ta-ta-ta-ta. CHN_MO takes down POR_Chronix with M16A4. USA_Iron used M416 headshot to knock down POR_Rafa. The Portuguese team wants to advance from the Widow Village, but what they faced at the same time was the crossfire between Team Sia and Team USA, and the 2 teams launched a perfect gun line. After knocking down 2 team members one after another, the remaining Portuguese team member was also directly poisoned to death. The Portuguese team was also helplessly defeated. At the same time, the Russian team in the school district room was also targeted from multiple directions. When leaving the room area, the 2-man team was also wiped out. The Brazilian team forced their way into the school, but 2 team members also fell. Wang Hao! Come! Mao Xiaomao saw that all the teams in the school district room did not choose to go around to their north side, so he shouted directly. Wang Hao shouted at the same time, "Set up the gun!" Several members of the Siagwa team were pulled out instantly. A fierce exchange of fire between Team USA and Team Sia. Nothing was headshot by Mao Xiaomao, and MC was also headshot by Iron. A wave of armor exchanges. Wang Hao was also swept off his motorcycle, but he was thrown directly to the wall. Team USA can't make up for it. Both the scene and the commentary booth were filled with gasps. Too dangerous. If the Siagwa team reduces its personnel, the chance of winning the chicken will be much smaller. But if it is full, the situation of the Siagwa team will definitely be very different. 2 down. The members of the Siagwa team also immediately started to rescue people. 2 members of the Finnish team also seized the gap in the Siagwa team's firepower. He rushed directly into the school. The Brazilian team members from the advanced school did not forcefully snipe because of their poor condition. Several teams rushed into the school one after another and found their own small rooms. The screen comes to the north side. The American team shooting position is excellent. Directly killed the Belgian team in the north. As a result, there are only 5 teams left on the field. Surviving teams, 5. Number of survivors, 15. Final round. Siagwa's team is still full. My heart is beating a little fast. Yi Hao touched his heart and said nervously. Yuwen also said, me too. Everyone knows the current situation of the Siagwa team. Eat chicken and win the championship. There are 5 teams left on the field. The Siagwa team is still full. The camera again shows Team Sia. Among the 4 people, only Mao Xiaomao's equipment was intact. Zhou Lili and Wang Hao also gave MC the only good armor they had. Gather all the armor on Mao Xiaomao and MC. This final round may develop into a hand-to-hand battle. In fact, for Mao Xiaomao, he couldn't be better at it. From the first day of playing games, the school has been his training ground. Let him improve and become stronger. He has absolute confidence in his reaction and accuracy. The scene became very quiet for a while. Of the 15 surviving players, except for the 4 members of the Siagwa team who are still in school, the remaining 11 have all entered the school. There are now 15 players on the field. 4 from the Sia national team and 4 from the American team. 3 members of the Korean team were in the swimming pool, and then 2 members of the Brazilian team and 2 members of the Finnish team entered the school. There are people on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the American team now, but they don't show too many heads. Team Siagwa also needs to pay attention to the situation of his falling to the ground. Many players have fallen to the ground many times. If they fall to the ground again, it may be difficult to save them. Mstoy analyzed. The 6th circle has been refreshed, and the 7th circle has been refreshed. As expected, it's still a school circle. This circle surrounds the entire school. There are only 2 teams that are not in a safe zone. One is South Korea and the other is Siagwa. But for these 2 teams, it is not difficult to enter the circle, because the outside of the school was very clean. The Sia team could go directly around the fence to the left side of the school and climb in, while the Korean team came directly from the swimming pool and entered the circle in one step. What we need to pay attention to now is the current position of each team. There may be a drug-spraying circle in this circle. Yes, Mstoy said seriously. The terrain in the school is very narrow, and it is far from possible to achieve the effect of sweeping the whole team like in mountain warfare. Moreover, it is also very difficult to replenish the gun. Basically, every encounter is an instant kill. Okay, Seogwa's team also broke into the school. The further the game goes on, the more nervous the audience and fans become. Look at the Seogwa team players here. Same thing. What they are facing now is the same situation as the Norwegian team just now. Even Mao Xiaomo himself can't control himself now and think about things other than the game. Call. Mao Xiaomo also took a deep breath. The same goes for other team members. Everyone's heart is beating fast. They saw that trophy too. They are just one step away. Mao Xiaomo did not choose to remind his teammates that now. The more he tells his teammates not to be nervous, the more nervous they will become. Everyone will do this in front of a gold medal. Chapter 774 S686. Wang Hao and I. MC and Lily. The school can only fight with bayonets, Mao Xiaomo said to his teammates. Making some tactical arrangements now can actually relieve the tension of the players. After entering the school, Team Xia also rushed directly towards the second floor. The terrain of the school is very complicated, but it is definitely right to go up, because the operational space on the first floor is relatively small, and the operational space on the second floor is the largest, because you can climb down at any time, which is not possible on the third floor. All the fans who were watching swallowed nervously. In front of the Seogwa team, there is more than one team. On the second floor, the American team, the Brazilian team, and the Finnish team are all staying in the room. For members of the Seogwa team rushed up from the lecture theater one after another and walked directly into the aisle. Team Seogwa goes up to the second floor. But be careful. Most of the rooms here are occupied. Let's see how Team Xia handles them, Mstoy said. Mao Xiaomo has always been a very meticulous conductor, and it is impossible for him to make some low-level mistakes and blindly bump into each other. But the Seogwa team must enter these rooms. Mao Xiaomo was so familiar with the topography of the school that he could draw what every room looked like. After going up to the second floor from the lecture theater, Team Xia also ran directly to their respective positions. Just before the transfer, Mao Xiaomo had already planned the route. There are many places where the school will be blocked, and Mao Xiaomo will ignore these places himself. When the seventh circle is refreshed halfway, gunshots ring out. Duh. USA_Iron used M416 headshot to knock down KR_Sexy Pig. USA_Iron used M416 to kill KR_Sexy Pig with a headshot. The Korean team obviously didn't study the school's terrain thoroughly enough and entered the gymnasium from the left. One of them was directly killed by Iron, who was setting up a gun on the third floor. The number of survivors on the field has also increased to 14. Except for the two fully formed teams of Seogwa and the United States. The other three teams all have 2 people. Mstoy and Yehao have no time to analyze this and that for everyone. They are mainly paying attention to the situation of Seogwa team. The Korean team is definitely not allowed to enter the gymnasium that they entered, which is the basketball hall, because if someone on the third floor can be killed directly, there is basically not much chance. When Mao Xiaomo first started playing PUBG, he thoroughly studied the positions of various shady people in the school. It can be said that this is his home court. After Mao Xiaomo went to the second floor, it was momentarily exposed in a gap outside a room. Observe the situation in this room. The moment Mao Xiaomo poked his head in, the firepower of the Brazilian team also followed. Duh. Mao Xiaomo dodges very quickly. Only one shot. But the helmet also turned red instantly. The Brazilian team's marksmanship is also very superb. Just one position almost knocked Mao Xiaomo off in an instant. This room is the first room coming up from the lecture theater. Then, the members of the Seogwa team heard the sound of 2 people climbing out of the window. 2 members of the Brazilian team chose to jump directly from the window. The Brazilian team went straight through the window. Yes, they should have heard the footsteps of the 4 members of the Seogwa team, Mstoy analyzed. The Brazilian team is also very smart. Although they disabled the members of the Seogwa team, they have just clearly heard the footsteps of the Seogwa team members. There are 4 players. With such a distance, the Brazilian team cannot make a mistake, even if they are forced to defend. It is not easy for them to perform in such a small terrain. If there is a thrown object, they will meet directly. Moreover, this room can be seen from the outside. It is a very bad room. The Brazilian team also gave up decisively. But what they didn't expect was that they had just flipped over. The American team members on the second floor happened to see them from the window. Even if there is only a small gap. Matthew also sees the opportunity. AKM's almost stress-free strafing. They were taken away directly. No one thought that the Brazilian team's choice to jump off the building would result in this. The number of people on the field also dropped sharply to 12. The sudden death of the Brazilian team was somewhat beyond everyone's expectations. The Siagwa team here also found 4 positions. MC and Joe Lilly were on both sides of the aisle above the lecture hall. One was responsible for holding up this very short aisle, and the other was holding up the way they came. Mao Xiaomao and Wang Hao entered the room directly, and Mao Xiaomao also just grabbed a first aid kit. Okay, the situation of the Siagwa team here should be considered stable, but the Siagwa team should be considered on the edge of a school now. It may be more difficult to fight in because the terrain is relatively narrow, Joy said. Emotion here changed to an S686. Trolling will have a great advantage in close combat, but the error tolerance will be very low. The camera shows Mao Xiaomao throwing away the secondary gun that he rarely uses, and then puts on the familiar S686 on his back. See the scene? Cheng Yao, Mu Yun and Good, who were nervous in the stands, also smiled subconsciously. What is Mao Xiaomao's strongest point? It's a troll. As the people who are most familiar with Mao Xiaomao, they know Mao Xiaomao's strongest firearm. Although Mao Xiaomao is the #1 M16 in the world, his gun is his life gun. It's just that from CD to ISCD to subsequent professional competitions, all competitions usually don't involve fighting in the early stage. So Mao Xiaomao's skill is hidden in the sand. Now, finally, there is a chance to find him. His trolls never empty their guns. Good smiled confidently. Mao Xiaomao's talent is so good, and few people can match his close-range reaction. In addition, this weapon that can block gods and kill Buddhas at close range is simply a huge bug. Picking up the S686 again, Mao Xiaomao also felt a long-lost sense of familiarity. Although it is rarely used in professional competitions, he will practice it for a while during training. The 7th circle already arrived. Everyone is waiting with bated breath. New save zone refreshed. A concentric circle. The only disadvantage for the Siagwa team now is that the 4 players are positioned relatively closely. Yes, this is not good news, and other teams in the school should be able to know, Joy said. Swipe this circle. The Siagwa team must move. But how to move is a huge problem. I don't know if the Siagwa team will be more proactive now, but there are still 12 people, which is a bit dangerous. After Joy said this, the Siagwa team immediately took action. Chapter 775 Prejudgment. Stalemate. In fact, according to the news in the school, Team Xia was almost completely blind. But once the circle is cleared, even if it is not the best time, the Siagwa team must make a move. At this time, Mao Xiaomao also adopted a bold tactic. Oh! Siagwa team chose to divide their troops, Joy shouted. From the OB perspective, we can see that MC and Joe Lilly jumped directly out of the window of the lecture theater. This window cannot be blocked by any window on the 2nd floor, like the Brazilian team just did. It is a complete blind spot, because the location of the school is too narrow. If 4 people are on the 2nd floor, there will be no way to achieve the effect, but it will be a little constrained. Instead of doing this, Mao Xiaomao might as well choose to divide his forces directly. He and Wang Hao went to the inside of the 2nd floor to touch, leaving the 1st floor to MC and Joe Lilly to deal with. There are 2 Korean team members on the 1st floor. They are probably near the basketball stadium. I'm not sure. You should pay attention and handle it yourself. There is an iron from the American team on the 3rd floor. He is probably at the stairwell. This position can support the 2nd floor at any time. The remaining 3 members of the American team should also be near the stairway. There should be a team of 2 on the 2nd floor, Mao Xiaomao said in the team. Everything is his guess, but these guesses are almost indistinguishable from the facts. Okay. Several members of the Siagwa team agreed. The Siagwa team members in 2 positions also started taking action at the same time. Mao Xiaomao has been thinking a lot. If they can take down the 1st floor, they will have a great advantage. Because in the school circle, there is a possibility that it will be a drug-fighting finals in the end. In this way, it will be very important to control 1 floor. The essential. The 3rd floor belongs to the American team, and they can't grab it at all. There are a lot of people on the 2nd floor, and they can't solve it in a while. Only the 1st floor is left. Visual inspection shows that there is only 1 team. the Korean team. And there are only 2 people. Shall we take the initiative to fight? MC asked. Mao Xiaomo replied. Just hold it together. They will either come out of the basketball gym or go up to see him off. The Seogwa team was able to judge the general position of the Korean team from the wave of gunshots from the Korean team iron just now, near the basketball stadium. If Mao Xiaomo was on the Korean team, he might stay in the middle of the first and second floors outside the basketball hall, near the stairs. They know that the basketball hall cannot be accessed, and it should be the only way, but they are not sure. It is very likely that Feng Yan will be stronger than the basketball hall on the first floor, because once they get to the second floor, the position of the Korean team will also be affected. Killed directly. If it were him, he would definitely spread cigarettes to fill the basketball hall, and then force his way out of the basketball hall to the first floor. In this case, because it is a school circle, if there is only one team left on the top, the teams above will definitely be cleared. But if there are more than 2 branches, when no one dares to move, it is entirely possible for them to rely on the medicine to win. The situation is getting simpler, but the space for each team is getting smaller and smaller. 2 members of the Seogwa team walked quietly toward the Korean team on the first floor. Then he came to 2 rooms and put his head on the basketball court. If nothing else, there is only one Korean team on the first floor. No matter where they are, the 2 members of Seogwa team actually have reaction time. Hiss. Hiss. Sure enough, it was not as expected by the Seogwa team. Smoke is spreading in the basketball gym. The Korean team was exactly as Mao Xiaomo expected. Oh! The Korean team did not choose to go upstairs. They may be afraid of being beaten to death if they go up. Choose an unconventional path, even if there are people on the 3rd floor. But the Seogwa team is very smart and is going to intercept them. Joy exclaimed. The prophet. This is the judgment and prediction of the situation by the world's #1 commander. Perfect judgment. If the Seogwa team can defeat the Korean team, it will definitely be great news for the Seogwa team. If the team destroys the Korean team, will M16 and One House support them? Well, probably not. For people on the first floor are too passive, and even if they reach the final round, it is not a particularly favorable terrain for the Seogwa team. Joy said. The Korean team spread out all their cigarettes. There is no gap in the entire basketball hall that can be observed. The camera showed the American team, and Iron was also communicating with his teammates. In fact, his position on the 3rd floor no longer meant much at this time, and all teams had entered the school. At this time, the Korean team began to move. 2 members of the Korean team rushed directly into the smoke and went straight to the main entrance of the basketball stadium. But they didn't expect it. 2 guns have already been set up. Everyone can imagine the mood of Korean team fans now. They all held their heads and watched in despair as the Korean team members fell into the trap set by Seogwa team. The members of the Korean team were unable to make any reaction. In the cheers of the audience, 2 members of the Korean team were killed instantly. Ta-ta-ta-ta. CHN_211 used M416 to kill KR_Benzi with a headshot. CHN_211 used M416 to kill KR_SCA. In this case, the Korean team will be wiped out. Seogwa team will be able to successfully control the first floor. Joy said excitedly. There are fewer and fewer survivors on the field. So far, there are only 10 players left. The American team and the Seoul national team are still fully staffed. And the Finnish team Jimby and Sambi are also in 2 small rooms, facing 2 strong teams with full rosters. The 2 players from the Finnish team had little chance. Players and fans from all other teams focused their attention on the American team, another powerful enemy of Seogwa team. Now whether it is the Seoul national team or the American team, they have to consider a very serious issue. This circle. How to spell. There are now 10 players on the field, and the space on the field is also very small. Once a fight starts, it can easily lead to a chaotic situation. Okay, there are 3 teams on the field now. 10 contestants. This circle has almost been refreshed, and Team Seogwa has to make a decision. If there are 2 people on the first floor and 2 people on the second floor, it is easy to be unable to support each other, Joy said. Now, as long as the fans support the Seogwa team, their hearts are beating fast. On the Seogwa team's bench, Sho and the Little Lions were also nervously looking at the screen. The same goes for the audience. But in this situation, no one dares to take the initiative. Chapter 776 120 seconds. I don't know what strategy Seogwa team will choose. All we can do is trust the Xiaogui team members on the field, Joy said sonorously and forcefully. At this time, the three teams on the field also began to arrange tactics. Now it is difficult for you to tell which terrain is better between the Qingxia national team and the American team. In the school circle, any small decision may affect the situation of the battle. In Mao Xiaomo's words, the members of the Xiaogui team gradually began to adjust their breathing. They have just experienced one of the most incredible comebacks in the history of PlayerUnknown's battlegrounds. And now they have changed positions and become the team that is about to win the championship. Until the last moment, you must be 120% vigilant. This circle moved very slowly. But none of the three teams chose to move. The American team is not very clear about the personnel distribution of Xiaogui's team. Judging from the situation of Xiaogui's team destroying South Korea just now, Xiaogui's team should be on the first floor. But at the beginning of the lecture hall, the news about the battle between the Brazilian team and the Xiaogui team was actually among the information of each team. So for a while, it was difficult for each team to judge the position of the Xiaogui team. Okay, now the US team Iron is still at the top of the stairs. He may have to wait until the battle begins before taking action. Then everyone else is distributed on the second floor. In fact, this is not good news for the Xiao national team. The American team has the initiative, Joy analyzed. The first floor is definitely not a very good location. Because once the plum blossom circle is created, the first floor is easy to harass. Enemies on the second or third floor can directly go downstairs to find people. But the team members on the first floor want to go to the second floor. It's definitely not easy. The members of the American team are also holding up the stairs on the second floor. They may be knocked down in an instant. Mao Xiaomo kept talking to his teammates and tried his best to lean into the middle. It's a pity that they don't have smoke bombs in their hands. If they have smoke bombs, they can directly throw smoke bombs into the middle of the stairs to interfere with the line of sight of the next team, and then create some chaos to find opportunities. In this circle, Mao Xiaomo and Wang Hao also came to a corner, and this corner was also in the safe zone. At this point in the game, the circle is already very small. The next circle is the plum blossom pile. It's also the real last lap. This plum blossom pile belongs to me. It may directly affect the championship. Joy swallowed and said nervously, there is no way. Any fan who loves Xiaogui PUBG is in this state now. Mao Xiaomo's friends all put their hands together. Cheng Yao looked at Mao Xiaomo, who had calmed down on the court, and secretly cheered for Mao Xiaomo in her heart. All the way from a few years ago. Although Mao Xiaomo's goal may not be the championship at the beginning. But now, he only has the last step left. Because the circle stopped, the camera gradually showed to each team. When the Xiaogui team was shown the camera, the Xiaogui team fans at the scene were also silent. And they were all looking at the screen quietly. Mao Xiaomo kept telling his teammates about the tactics they were about to play. And he also kept inspiring the confidence of his teammates. We are only one step away from the championship. And no one wants to fall here. Sudden, the plum blossom pile appears. Okay, the plum blossom pile appears. This location should be in the aisle on the second floor. The locations on the first and third floors should be undisturbed. Now it depends on what strategies each team has, Joy explained. Everyone expected this circle to turn out like this. In the plum blossom circle. In fact, the closer these two people are to the second floor of Xiaogui team, the more beneficial it is for Xiaogui team. But this circle is quite satisfactory and is fair to any team. The American team responded immediately. Iron returned directly to the third floor. Stand at the point of the plum blossom pile. He is responsible for the final spraying. Strictly speaking, he is the one person who will not be disturbed unless the other three members of the US team are destroyed. Okay, now Iron and Joe Lily are standing on the plum blossom piles on the first and third floors. These two players should be the ones responsible for the Xiao national team and the US team's medicine. But strictly speaking, Iron's position on the third floor is a bit good, because the American team is immortal and others cannot interfere with it. But Team Xiao is different. Members of the American team can climb through the window to the first floor to interfere with Team Xiao's spraying. I think the US team will definitely do this. And the Xiao national team will have to deal with it, Joy said. Mao Xiaomo naturally thought of this. Their two brothers on the second floor must rush over and fight desperately. The problem is the charge between the two brothers on the first floor and the American team. Gamble! Mao Xiaomo thought about the current situation. If they played normally, the American team would undoubtedly have the advantage. How to spell? Wait a minute and see. Just wait for my instructions. You are at the top of the stairs. If I tell you to rush up, just rush up. We don't wait until the last lap before moving. We start fighting in the last 15 seconds. Mao Xiaomo kept saying, clear. In fact, the other three people all knew that the American team might climb down from the window to harass Zhou Lily's injection. But Mao Xiaomo must have his intention when he said this. We didn't get through to the end. So you forced yourself to guard Lily. Do you understand? Clear. MC nodded. There are now 4 people. Except Zhou Lily. The other 3 people are under great pressure. Hiss. Hiss. I don't know which team threw the smoke bomb, but it also filled the stairway. After the revision, there is now a 120-second waiting time after the plum blossom piles in the last circle are refreshed, which is completely different from before. In the past, the plum blossom piles did not appear until the last 15 seconds. In fact, this also increases the fault tolerance rate and provides arrangements for each team. Tactical 120 seconds. These 120 seconds are extremely painful for both the players and the audience. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. The tactics of the 3 teams on the field have actually been formulated, but there is still more than half of the time left. And almost all PUBG fans in the world are waiting for the refresh of this safe zone. The 64 players on the field were all staring at the screen. This circle is destiny for them. Tens of thousands of people on site. Silence fell. 120 seconds. Looking at it now, 2 minutes is as long as 2 hours. Watching the time in the upper right corner of the big screen getting shorter and shorter. Everyone gathered together to watch the final battle in the last lap. The safe zone will be refreshed in 15 seconds. Finally, in the breathless sound of the entire audience. Safe area refreshed. Chapter 777 bang. Game 6. The last lap. There are still 15 seconds to refresh the icon that just appeared. Mao Xiaomo and Wang Hao rushed out. Oh, Xiaogua's team is on the move. We're going to fight hard. Msjoy didn't have time to explain. Wang Hao rushed to the front, and Mao Xiaomo walked slowly behind him, ready to raise his gun at any time, under the cover of smoke bombs. Although the American team and the Finnish team could not clearly see the position of the Xi'an national team, they were within a very narrow floor. Everyone can clearly hear the footsteps of Xiaogua team. However, the Finnish team and the American team restrict each other. No one wants to have a firefight with the Xiaogua team at this time and allow each other to take advantage of it. The American team heard the footsteps of the Xiaogua team, and the team was also communicating with each other. It's a pity that the smoke bomb thrown by the Finnish team to disrupt the situation created conditions for the Xiaogua team. 15, 14, 13. The time prompt next to the map is very eye-catching. At this moment, the Finnish team finally started to take action. They jumped right out of the window. I want to hit the first floor. Now for the Finnish team. If they compete with the American team Xiaogua on the second floor, the probability of them winning is definitely not more than 5%. The number of people is originally small. If 2 people compete with China and the United States on the second floor, first of all, let's not talk about the probability that they will wipe out everyone on the second floor. If the team is wiped out, what will happen next? They are definitely not satisfied with their state. It is impossible to compete with the teams on the first floor and the teams on the third floor. It is simply impossible to succeed. There is no way but to find a way. There were not many choices for the Finnish team, so they went straight down to the first floor. Mao Xiaomo had already thought of this when he made the arrangement just now. The safe zone has not been refreshed yet. Zhou Lily and MC are both in fighting condition. Boom! Boom! The sound of 2 Finnish team players landing was captured by everyone. In addition to the actions of the Finnish team, the response of the Xiaogua team and the American team is actually more eye-catching. For no other reason than the Xiaogua team now has 2 chickens in hand. And the American team also has 1 chicken. And both teams are still full. In fact, the Xiaogua team didn't have much to do. But the Xiaogua team had been mentally prepared before. And Zhou Lily and MC also rushed forward. However, the 3 members of the American team and the 2 members of the Xi'an national team did not dare to move. Mao Xiaomo knew very well that if they made a move, the American team would be saying that iron was on the 3rd floor to spray medicine without pressure, while the Xiaogua team on the 1st floor would be impacted by both the Finnish team and the American team at the same time. So the 2 of them must not move. The American team is actually in the same situation. Once they go down to kill the brothers on the 1st floor and the members of the Xiaogua team on the 2nd floor, they may just break through them and go straight to the third floor. Team Xia and Team USA were in a stalemate on the second floor for just a few seconds. The center of the battlefield was instantly transferred to the first floor. The Finnish team takes the initiative. After Jimby and MC exchanged a wave of health, Joe Lilly also pulled out the dodge gun. Beat up Sambi. MC hid in the corner and packed a first aid kit. Then he jumped directly along the window. At the same time, the gun in his hand kept firing. Sambi and Jimby. One of them is shooting medicine and the other is holding a gun. But they are already at the edge of the circle and there is no room to move. Plus MC is a jump shot. Jimby only hit MC once and was knocked down instantly. And Sambi's medicine lasted until the last second. Also rub against MC's bullet. Complete a double kill in an instant. CHN_MC used M416 to kill FIN_Sambi with a headshot. CHN_MC used M416 to kill FIN_Jimby with a headshot. The Finnish team is destroyed. Surviving teams, 2. Number of survivors, 8. The safe zone begins to refresh. The last circle finally started to refresh. Pretty! MC double kill. This means that the Xia national team and the American team are on the same starting line. No. Team USA has a slight advantage, Msjoy said seriously. The American team is now on the second floor. They will have the initiative later. Whether to attack or defend. The decision is in the hands of the American team. But no one thought of it. Even Team USA didn't expect it. The Xiagwa team will launch a charge at this time. Mao Xiaomo and Wang Hao rushed out of the smoke. And MC from the first floor also rushed up the stairs. Mao Xiaomo seized an opportunity where the American team could not make any choice. If you dare to jump off the building to harass Joe Lilly and give him medicine, the Xia national team will directly destroy the American team head-on. Joe Lilly and Iron, 2 players representing Team Xia and Team USA, were waiting at the center points of the plum blossom piles on the first and third floors to spray medicine. In order to maintain blood volume, they also rubbed some poison outside. This poisonous circle cannot be filled with a first aid kit. It can only be a medical kit plus bandages, which is the limit. The timing of using the medical kit is also very critical. But none of the professional players off the field looked at the 2 brothers on the first or third floor. Their focus was on the front. Iron and Joe Lilly are actually not critical. As long as the decisive battle on the second floor is decided, the winning side will definitely deal with the opponent's player who used medicine. Even if you can't handle it, you can still successfully interfere. It can be said that the 3v3 on the second floor determines the outcome. This circle refreshes very slowly at the beginning, and only accelerates suddenly at the end. Mao Xiaomo carried an S686 and followed Wang Hao. At such a close distance, even without a shotgun choke, it would be a devastating blow. Noisy footsteps. Matthew heard clearly. Both sides played in perfect synchronicity. MC immediately ducked his head. He shot Matthew in the neck. But he was also shot in the head. The helmet exploded directly, even though he was not full of blood in the first place. He suddenly had only a trace of blood left. For the current Xiagwa team, they have been completely immersed in this game. The slightly tense atmosphere in the team before has also disappeared. They know what a powerful enemy they face. One on the left. One in the right room, MC shouted. In an instant, he also saw 2 figures. Rush! Mao Xiaomo roared angrily, and the veins on his neck popped out. Go! Now MC doesn't have time to apply medicine, so he can only use his remaining blood body to help Mao Xiaomo and Wang Hao attract a wave of firepower. Nothing was in the room and heard the footsteps of the Xiagwa team. Just pull it out and shoot in advance. But he never expected it. He's just showing up. He was killed instantly. Boom. CHN_MO used S686 to knock down USA_nothing with a headshot. Chapter 778, Reversing the Situation. Mao Xiaomo's spraying is so smooth. When the camera was on him, almost everyone feels that this spray is a sure hit. Pretty! Spray 1 down. Msjoy, Yahao, and Yuwen shouted wildly. They are not in the mood or have the energy to analyze tactics now. Just cheering crazily for the Xiagwa team. Time goes back to 15 seconds ago. Liquid team leader Chris in the stands also asked a question that many people are confused about. Why didn't Team Xia choose to charge with 4 people and kill the team with 3 people? The 4th player from Team Xia on the first floor couldn't have any the power of resistance. Although Chris and Alvin are Americans, Mao Xiaomo is also their best friend. It can be said that their lives have changed dramatically because of Mao Xiaomo's joining. Moreover, They do not particularly value the honor of the American team. Alvin and Chris are probably the least nervous people on the court. Alvin smiled. In fact, Chris was not an outsider. But for this kind of on-the-spot tactics, he could think more clearly if he could put himself in the perspective of a player. Alvin is also one of the people in the world who has the most thorough understanding of PUBG tactics. Otherwise, he would not be able to become an analyst for Liquid. The US team is actually in the same situation. Alvin laughed. Chris was stunned. If you think about it carefully, this is really the case. The American team is actually the same as the Siagwa team. The three-man team was wiped out, and Iron could not have any resistance. Alvin explained. Actually, if you look at the situation of the two teams, the American team is actually the team with the initiative. But the Siagwa team will be more proactive. This is not a result of tactics. This is a result of terrain. Siagwa's team must play. And so must the American team. What Alvin said also confused Chris. Indeed, she didn't have a thorough understanding of this high-level duel. Alvin continued. Let's talk about the American team first. The American team has a huge advantage in terrain. You have to know that if the three people of the American team can hold the stairs, no matter whether the Sia team is 3 people, 4 people, or 5 people, can you rush up? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. If the American team defends hard, even 2 fully staffed Siagwa teams may not be able to charge forward with their guns set up. Alvin said. 3 professional players fought against each other to hold up a staircase. Even gods couldn't get up. If you take a closer look at the positions of the Sia national team members, 1 is in the stairway from the first to the second floor, and 2 are in the aisle on the second floor. There are no bunkers. It can be said that there is a huge disadvantage in terms of location. The US national team, what will the situation be like if we defend it forcefully? It will definitely become a 50-50 situation for both sides. In addition, the Siagwa team has just experienced a battle, and the players on the first floor are not satisfied. The American team actually has a huge advantage. Do you think the American team will give up this advantage to compete with the Siagwa team? Impossible. Alvin smiled and shook his head. Chris listened quietly to Alvin's analysis. Alvin continued. In fact, it seems that the Siagwa team is the active party. But in fact, they have to take the initiative. Because if they don't move, once the time is up, the American team will directly come down and harass the Siagwa team members. So Iron will have to take the medicine. When, as you said, if 4 people charge, it doesn't actually mean much. Think about it. Let's not say whether they can charge or not. Even if they make a profit, such as 2 for 3, the other 2 Siagwa team members will not. It will be full of health. And the circle has shrunk. And soon, the remaining health will come up. Iron only needs to give up spraying medicine, raise the gun with full health, and win surely. Once the entire Sia team charges, the American team will win as long as they hold on. So they won't do such a stupid thing. After Alvin said with a smile, he saw Mao Xiaomo knocking nothing down with a spray. Whoa. It's hard to say now. A layman sees the fun. An expert sees the door. Mao Xiaomo's spray changed the situation instantly. Originally, although the Sia team was evenly matched with the American team in terms of numbers, they were at an absolute disadvantage in terms of terrain. So they had to launch a charge. But Mao Xiaomo's spray instantly left the American team with only 2 members on the second floor. Matthew even still has residual health. Pretty. Emotion changed to M16. I'm going to force myself to attack. Joy shouted at the top of her lungs. Mao Xiaomo's thinking was very clear. They were at an absolute disadvantage just now. So he switched to S686 to give it a try. Things are different now. What the team needs is his stable output. After all, the best armor in the team is on him. The situation is changing rapidly. The scene was also completely silent. When MC heard Mao Xiaomo shouting, he rushed forward in step with Mao Xiaomo and Wang Hao. The poisonous circle began to shrink around Matthew's body. Matthew is still in a state of residual health, so he can only force himself to attack. After leaving the room door, he immediately raised his gun and killed MC. But he was also killed by Mao Xiaomo with a shotgun. The 2 sides completed a wave of exchanges. Pretty. One more loss for Team USA. Joy and Yehao roared angrily. All Siagwa team members and fans seemed to see the shadow of the champion. USA_Matthew used an M416 headshot to knock down CHN_MC. CHN_MO used M16A4 to knock down USA_Matthew. This exchange seems to be an exchange between two disabled players. But in fact it is a huge advantage for the Xiagwa team. Among the players still standing, there are 3 from the Xi'an national team and only 2 from the American team. In the finals, the American team has already been at a disadvantage. Automatic, the last player on the second floor of the American team, instantly realized that he was the only one left on the second floor. But at this time, the huge pressure seemed to crush him. The roars of the 3 team members kept coming to my ears. Let him turn over. He climbed down from the second floor window without thinking at all. I want to kill Joe Lilly by force. In this way, the American team can stand on the same starting line as the Xi'an national team. But at this point in time, too early, the poisonous circle is only halfway through. Although the speed is already very fast, Joe Lilly has not yet started the final spraying process. Lilly. Mao Xiaoma shouted at Joe Lilly. The M416's tongue of fire in Joe Lilly's hand. It also spurted out with Automatic's figure. Chapter 779. Please let me do it longer. Automatic falls from the sky. But Joe Lilly is very focused. Just take the gun. Follow the gun. Such a close distance. When her first shot hit, Joe Lilly hit almost all of her shots. CHN_211 knockdown USA_automatic with a headshot. For a moment, everyone's mind seemed to go blank. Everything. Mjoy and Yehao stared blankly at the big screen. Whether they were the audience at the scene or the audience in front of the TV. On the playing field, Ibiza and James also closed their eyes in pain. Contest. It's about to end. Nice. Nice. Go. 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 Mao Xiaoma saw the news that Joe Lilly knocked down Automatic. He also reacted instantly. He roared at Wang Hao at the top of his lungs. Currently, only one member of Team USA survives. Iron. He is the only one. Moreover, the poisonous circle refreshes very quickly. As long as they interfere with Iron spraying a little bit, the championship will belong to Xiagwa. The scene was silent for 1 second. Crazy shouting and cheering began. Oh! Nice! Pretty! The tens of thousands of Xia Kingdom spectators shouted wildly. Let no one hear a trace of the live game. Cheers from Xia Kingdom fans. A giant dragon is formed, hovering over Tokyo Stadium. All Xia Kingdom PUBG fans. My heart is beating fast. Chung Yao. Good. Mu Yun. Countless fans or professional players who supported Xiagwa's national team all stood up, waving his arms crazily. Now, even a novice who has just started playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds can see it. Xiagwa team. Gonna win. Really going to win. Mao Xiaoma. Wang Hao. MC. Joe Lilly. The 4 players from the Xiagwa team were sitting in their seats, and their hands began to tremble. They know what it means to them now. For the first time, Mao Xiaoma felt that he had lost his mind on the field. Wang Hao and Mao Xiaoma roared. I rushed straight up the stairs to the 3rd floor. At this time, the poisonous circle also hit the 2 of them. Started to lose a lot of blood. This is an excellent time. Iron not only has to start spraying medicine, but also has to deal with the members of Xiagwa team. Even Iron himself knows that the situation is over. No matter how strong his personal abilities were, there was no room for him to develop. For a while, there was some silence within the US team. Hearing the footsteps of Mao Xiaoma and Wang Hao, Iron could only raise his gun to fight. But his place, locked by Wang Hao and Mao Xiaoma early, Iron could only be in the center of the plum blossom pile. Team Xia! Team Xia! Mjoy and Yehao cried tearfully. They knew what this moment meant. What it meant to Xiagwa. Even in this moment of trembling hands, Wang Hao and Mao Xiaoma's natural understanding allowed them to achieve perfect synchronization again. Wang Hao pulls out. Just shoot ahead. In an instant, Mao Xiaoma also squatted down, not blocking Wang Hao's gun line at the same time. I also shot out in advance. Iron set his gun in advance and reacted very quickly. After knocking down Wang Hao with 2 shots, he tried to pull the gun, but the synchronization between Mao Xiaoma and Wang Hao was perfect. While Iron is outputting Wang Hao, Mao Xiaoma M16. 3 consecutive shots. Kill Iron instantly. Everyone's eyes were dull, looking at the final result. CHN_MO used M16A4 to kill USA_Iron with a headshot. Good luck. Let's eat chicken tonight. Winner, CHN. The 4 players from the Xiagwa team shouted crazily. Mao Xiaoma and Wang Hao both slammed their headphones on the stage in front of him. It fell to pieces. But now, it's their time to celebrate. Ah! Mao Xiaomo covered his eyes with his hands. Let the other 3 teammates sway beside you. Pull. Mao Xiaomo! Damn champion! Champion! Wang Hao cried while hammering Mao Xiaomo. You. As a newcomer, MC participated in a professional competition for the first time and stood at such a height. His name is Zhou Yang. Tens of thousands of people cheered at the scene. Cry. Everyone was stimulated in an instant. And 4 people hugged each other. Cry. Shout. This champion. It's so hard. Team Xia. Champion. Mjoy and Yehao burst into tears instantly. Regardless of their identity, they could not suppress their inner excitement at this moment. Yuan shed tears when he saw countless spectators at the scene. Esports. That's it. Yuan smiled and wiped his tears. I don't now. I'm sorry, woo woo. Fortunately, even though I was standing in the CCTV commentary box, I couldn't control my emotions at all, including other commentators and even the director. Tears welled up in my eyes. This championship is simply a miracle for the Xiaogua team. An almost impossible miracle. Now! The finals of the Tokyo Olympics PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds event are all over. And Team Xia won the final championship. As a professional host, Yuan announced the result even though he was a little choked up. In the 6th game, Xiaogua team won for the 3rd time. On-site, Changzhou, Shanghai, Nanjing, Xiaogua. Fans who really love PUBG and esports will be so excited that they can't help themselves. Cheng Yao cried, but smiled as she looked at Mao Xiaomo, who was surrounded by players on the field, pulling and celebrating wildly. Mao's parents, Mao's mother, cried and nodded happily when they saw that their son could win such a high honor on behalf of the country. Good and Muyun wiped away their tears and looked at their friends with a smile. Perhaps this is the best result. Xiaogua team substitutes Sai, Liang, Shou, Nova, and members of the coaching staff, while waving the flag crazily, while rushing towards the main members of the Xiaogua team. One by one, they threw Mao Xiaomo and others to the ground. Ah ha 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 ha! That's awesome! Champion! Even if they don't participate in the main game, Xiaogua's substitutes are still part of the national team. The same is true for some of the more familiar members of the coaching staff. Several people hugged Mao Xiaomo excitedly. Until now, they still can't believe this fact. They really won this championship. Mao Xiaomo was pressed to the ground by countless people. Now, he could not hear any of the shouts and congratulations from the people around him. There were tears in the corners of his eyes. Looking at the sky silently, there is joy, but more of it is relaxation. An indescribable relaxation. In the background, there are tens of thousands of people cheering and shouting to the sky. Like a dream. If this is a dream, please let me do it a little longer. On site, the singing of tens of thousands of Xia people. There are countless people whom Mao Xiaomo is familiar with. People who are not familiar with him. People who love him and people who don't love him. Everyone is singing for them. The Xia people sang loudly and the foreigners applauded, giving their warmest applause to this respectable and powerful Xia team. Chapter 780. Hug each other tightly. Team Xia, after 6 games and 4 hours of fierce battle, won the championship, Mjoy said tremblingly. Before the game, 6 games must be a very small number for everyone. After all, in a Golden Rooster game, a team can only win with 3 roosters. Under normal circumstances, it is normal to play 10 games. Everyone originally thought it was a fierce battle. But this time, it was a different fierce battle. Although there are only 6 short games, we can all see how difficult it is for the Xiaogua team. Xiaogua's team has had its moments of glory, but it has also been in desperate situations. But they have proven it time and time again. They are the most stable and powerful team in the world, Mjoy shouted. The cheers at the scene were intertwined with Mjoy's shouts. The Xiaogua team members and coaching staff on the field were also celebrating crazily. This championship is not easy. No words are needed to describe it. Any audience watching from beginning to end can understand how heavy this championship is. Desperate situation. Comeback. The man who was thrown to the ground by everyone. He also undisputedly won the title of the world's strongest player. I snatched it from the American team, from Iron, from the Norwegian team, from James, from the Dutch team, and from Ibiza. Perfect final performance. Mao Xiaomo and his Xiaogua team gave Xiaogua and even the world a satisfactory answer this time. The rankings appear on the big screen. All games, All over. Tokyo Olympics PUBG Finals ranking ended. 1. Siagwa/CHN dash 3 times chicken dash 77 kill. 2. Norway/Nor dash 2 times chicken dash 36 kill. 3. USA/USA dash 1 times chicken dash 42 kill. 4. Netherlands/NED dash 0 times chicken dash 28 kill. 5. Colombia/COL dash 0 times chicken dash 27 kill. 6. Finland/FIN dash 0 times chicken dash 24 kill. 7. Russia/Rus dash 0 times chicken dash 19 kill. 8. Brazil/BRA dash 0 times chicken dash 17 kill. Team Xia, with a score of 77 kills in 6 sets. I deserve to win this championship. In the last set, Team Xia went crazy with their kills. They got 29 kills. This result should also set a new Olympic record. Yes. On the kill list, M16 also leads the pack with 29 kills. Yes. The only one who is close to him is his teammate MC. This rookie is participating in a professional competition for the first time. His name is Zhou Yang. He has lived up to all of our expectations for him. Joy and Yehao kept introducing. One by one, the members of the Xia Kingdom team received applause from all PUBG fans and esports enthusiasts in the Xia Kingdom. Team Xia is well-deserved. On site, members of other teams also came to congratulate and give their blessings. If you are not as skilled as others, you will be at a disadvantage. The performance of Mao Xiaomo and this Xiaogua team conquered everyone, including his opponents. Ibiza hugged Mao Xiaomo and MC, both of whom were his friends. Congratulations. Thanks. Iron also walked over with his teammates. A bronze medal is a good result for the United States PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. But obviously, the expectations of the team members are not here. But after the game is over, the skills are inferior to others. And it is too late no matter how unwilling you are. Both Iron and Nothing congratulated Team Xia and left immediately. James watched Team Xia win the championship. This taste is very unpleasant. But there was an opportunity in front of them. But they didn't take it. It's no wonder others were there. They all came to the championship team and gave them their most sincere congratulations. Although there is no second place in esports. But this is the Olympics. A precious silver medal and a precious bronze medal are also precious to a country. Okay, boys, go and drape yourself in the flag and greet us with cheers. The leader of the Xia State Esports General Administration smiled and looked at the team members. And the national flags prepared early were handed over to everyone's hands. Thank you, leader. Mao Xiaomo bowed to the leaders. This is a heartfelt thank you. From the moment he chose to go to the United States, the leaders of the Xia State Esports Administration have truly taken care of him and protected him. They are not just saying nice things on the spot. Mao Xiaomo's gratitude comes from the bottom of his heart. Well done. M16 is awesome. M16 is awesome. Xiaogua team is awesome. Xiaogua team's main player and substitute, 8 members, draped in the national flag, start walking around the field to greet the cheers from everyone. The same was true for the Norwegian team, which was the runner-up, and the United States, which was the third runner-up. Even though they were unfortunately the champions, they still played a wonderful game, and everyone gave them the warmest applause. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. For years later, no one knows whether it will appear in the Olympics. But enjoy the moment. Enjoy the results of everyone's hard work together. Thank you all. Thanks. Zhou Lily, Wang Hao, MC, and Mao Xiaomo also bowed to the audience constantly. Their shouts are also the strongest barrier behind the team members. Even in the most difficult times, when everyone was in despair, everyone still used all their strength to cheer for the Xiaogua team. Zhou Lily hugged his good friend. Zhou Yang MC also embraced his parents in the stands and came to the United States to play professionally. His parents were not particularly supportive, but everything was worth it. Smelly monkey. Awesome, ha ha ha. Now he's a Grand Slam player. Mao Xiaomo finally walked to Cheng Yao's side of the auditorium, which was also one of the best seats. Good cursed without hesitation. Even now many elders are by their side. But at this moment, no one cares about this. Mao Xiaomo was much calmer than before. He stretched out his hand and shook Good's hand vigorously. Okay. Awesome. Olympic champion. Muyun also shook Mao Xiaomo's hand vigorously. Mao Xiaomo's 2 best brothers also cheered for him in the finals. Behind him, a group of college roommates, brothers, and sister Zhang Xiaohua also cried incessantly. Well done! Well done! Xiao Mo! Cheng Haijun and Mrs. Cheng Yao's parents, have also met Mao Xiaomo's parents. This is also their first meeting. The father-in-law's praise also made Mao Dehai and Mao's mother smile from ear to ear. Not long ago, they were all crying. Dad? Mom? Mao Xiaomo hugged his parents hard. Even though they didn't say a word. Parents are always the people who love you most in this world. Finally, a beautiful girl. Mao Xiaomo and Cheng Yao hugged each other tightly. Chapter 781 Fantasy. This pair is the golden boy and girl in the PlayerUnknown's battlegrounds. From the first moment I entered the professional arena, it was like a fairy tale. Thanks! Mao Xiaomo hugged Cheng Yao and said in her ear. On the side, both Mao's parents and Cheng's parents looked at the two children with relief. Even though they had just turned 20 years old, they are all successful people and have unique vision. Cheng Yao didn't say anything. She just hugged Mao Xiaomo tighter. Zhang Xiaohua leaned against Good, her eyes filled with peach blossoms, looking at this match made in heaven as if watching an idol drama. Oh! Mary! 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 The focus of everyone at the scene. It's all on the members of the Xiaogua team. As the big screen locked the camera on the Xi'an national team members, who were celebrating crazily. That scene of Mao Xiaomo hugging Cheng Yao tightly. It is also deeply imprinted in everyone's mind. Everyone watching the finals of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds now knows Cheng Yao, the IFCE sniper, and the #1 female player. Warm. As the scene kept shouting about marriage, Cheng Yao also rarely blushed. She didn't know it herself. But when the Xiaogua team fell into darkness, she called out Mao Xiaomo to cheer her on, awakening all Xia Kingdom PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds fans. Behind every successful man, there must be a woman who silently supports him. This is absolutely true. Although Cheng Yao has left the competition, this girl will definitely be remembered by all esports fans. Mao Xiaomo hugged Cheng Yao. There was really a girl behind him, supporting her all the time. At such an important moment, the two words thank you are the two words deepest in Mao Xiaomo's heart. Go ahead, Cheng Yao said in Mao Xiaomo's ear, and then pecked Mao Xiaomo on the cheek, which caused huge cheers from the scene. Tens of thousands of live spectators. A handful of dog food was spilled by this golden couple. But everyone cheered and applauded them. Several Liquid teammates looked at this scene and smiled, shook their heads, and sighed. The game is over. Congratulations to their captain for getting his wish. Good. Mao Xiaomo didn't want to think too much. Just enjoy the moment and the championship they won. All members of the Xiaogua team surrounded the stadium and thanked the fans who have always supported them. All Xiaogua fans will remember this moment for this tenacious and never-giving Xiaogua team. Beautiful, unforgettable moments. Because it is the last project, there is only an award ceremony afterwards. So there is a lot of time for each PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds team to celebrate. The teammates celebrated individually. Mao Xiaomo squatted alone in the center of the field. Bright lights, cheers from fans, joy of championship, support from loved ones. It's like a dream. Mao Xiaomo looked at the sky. Summer. Just like when they first entered college 2 years ago. Wang Hao walked to Mao Xiaomo's side. From his opponent to his teammate, there are many stories between the two of them. The first and second players on the CUEL kill list. That year of CUEL produced many talented players. What are you thinking about? Wang Hao arched Mao Xiaomo. I didn't think about anything. Mao Xiaomo shook his head, but then said, but fate is really weird. Didn't you say it yourself? That only through struggle can you change your destiny? Wang Hao looked at Mao Xiaomo and smiled. Yeah, there is a pretentious saying by Mao Xiaomo on the internet, which contains it. Oh, don't worry about fate. Let's go to the interview first. Wang Hao stretched out his hand. He pulled Mao Xiaomo up and bumped his shoulders. Arriving at the media interview area, there were already countless Xia State media and Xia State reporters waiting for Xinka's Olympic champion, Xiaogua PUBG national team. Mao Xiaomo took the other 3 team members to the interview area. Hello Mao Xiaomo. First of all, congratulations on winning the Olympic championship. This is a precious gold medal. How do you feel now? The leader is a CCTV reporter, and only he has the right to ask questions. Mao Xiaomo replied. It must be very exciting. I think anyone who wins the Olympic Games will feel the same as us. The CCTV reporter continued. We can see that although we only played 6 games, the process was very difficult, and we once stood on the edge of the cliff. But in the end, we miraculously reversed that set. We can ask about the situation at that time. What's the situation? And what kind of mood it was at that time? This question was also thrown directly to Mao Xiaomo. The other 3 team members all looked at Mao Xiaomo with a smile. That one game. Definitely the most exciting game in the history of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. A great comeback from the Jedi. Truly interpreting the 4 words. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Even on the field, they could only cheer and marvel at Mao Xiaomo. Mao Xiaomo smiled and said, I didn't think so much at the time. I just thought about how to win. I gave up everything I had and tried my best to win this game. The taste of failure is bitter. I once lost. I won a championship that I really want to win. And I don't want to lose another one. Everyone knows what the championship Mao Xiaomo said he really wanted to win. PCI. This is a scar that will never be erased. May I ask what you think of your performance today? The reporter asked another question. The 4 people looked at each other. Almost at the same time. He said to the camera, Give it your all. At this moment, all reporters were shocked. What a team this is. No wonder they are so tenacious. No matter how they perform. As long as they get on the field, everyone will give their best. There can be no room for relaxation. Everyone, please say a few words. If you have anything to say. Wang Hao smiled and said, Thank you to the fans for their support. Then thank you to your family for your support. Then thank you to the Xiaogui team. And thank you to Mao Xiaomo. We are the strongest team in the world. And we have proven this. Zhou Lily continued. Everything is like a dream. I will really remember this arena for the rest of my life. Every game and every shot. Thank you everyone. Zhou Lily was also choked up. The CCTV reporter handed over a napkin. Zhou Lily, who can be considered an old man in esports, also realized her dream with the support of 3 young people. Hello Zhou Yang. We know that this is your first time participating in a professional competition, and you have achieved such a top result. I believe you have a lot to say. Zhou Yang MC took a deep breath and said, It's very dreamy. Perhaps my experience is even more dreamy than that of Team MO. My first professional competition was when I represented the Xi'an national team and won the Olympic championship. The most grateful person should be Team MO. He is the best player in the world. Bar none. Zhou Yang thanked him sincerely. In fact, what he said was what Wang Hao and Zhou Lily wanted to say. Thank you Mao Xiaomo. From building the team to winning the championship. Not to mention all the credit. But at least 90% of the credit goes to Mao Xiaomo. For Zhou Yang, Mao Xiaomo is also his teacher and has been helping him grow. Chapter 782, Don't come back until you're drunk. Captain Mo, please say a few words. The last person to speak was naturally Mao Xiaomo. He is the soul and pillar of this Xiaogui team. Everyone's eyes were focused on this young man, who single-handedly reversed the situation and helped Xiaogui team win the championship. You know, Mao Xiaomo is only 20 years old now. Mao Xiaomo also used the camera to say everything he wanted to say. I am very grateful to the people who have always supported us. I have also experienced low points and pain that I really cannot forget. No matter what. Once your blood bleeds dry once, you won't let your blood bleed dry again. Thank you everyone. We are the strongest team in the world. I am also the strongest player in the world. This is the real Mao Xiaomo. Mao Xiaomo is still the same Mao Xiaomo. From the moment he first stepped into this circle, countless experiences have sharpened Mao Xiaomo's edges. But time flies by. And what time takes away are all the thorns in Mao Xiaomo's body. And it also makes Mao Xiaomo more calm and sophisticated. But what time cannot take away is the spirit of Mao Xiaomo. It is too difficult to keep this energy. Life is constantly smoothing our edges. But being able to stay sharp in time is the reason why Mao Xiaomo is able to stand here. If someone else said this, many people might think that so-and-so is arrogant. But when Mao Xiaomo said these words, what he brought to everyone was only that strong self-confidence. Even with countless scars on his body, he still looked sharp and strong with confidence. CCTV reporters were also touched by Mao Xiaomo's words. It is precisely because of this that Mao Xiaomo is the unique person in Xia Kingdom. Okay. Thank you, Captain Mo. This time, Mao Xiaomo did not speak in official terms, but spoke from the bottom of his heart. However, it is precisely this kind of heartfelt words that can truly touch the men and women whose edges have been smoothed by life. Many reporters looked at Mao Xiaomo from the sidelines and seemed to see themselves in the past. Everyone has their youthful and frivolous days. Youth, university. All of them who can stand here to interview Olympic champions are all leaders. And they all once stood out from the crowd. Xiaogui national team. The four people nodded, led by Mao Xiaomo, who turned around, draped in a 5-star red flag, and waved to all the reporters. The back view of the King's Master. Just as Mao Xiaomo and this Xiaogui national team said, they are determined to live up to expectations. As the national anthem plays, the 5-star red flag is rising. All the Xia people present sang the national anthem of the People's Republic of China in unison. The Norwegian team and the American team could only smile bitterly as they watched the Xia national team's flag gradually rise into the sky. Stand up! People who don't want to be slaves! Build our new Great Wall with our flesh and blood. Xiaogui national team. Coaching staff. Reporter. Commentary. Everyone is singing the national anthem. The national anthem of their victory. Cheng Yao's family. Mao Xiaomo's family. And even Good all look solemn. This is the most sacred moment. Everyone is extremely dedicated to the 8 members of the national team who let the Xia national flag rise in the middle of the field. All the members of Xiaogui's national team stood upright and sang loudly. Pay tribute. Brave the enemy's fire and move forward. 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 Advance. Sing a song. The entire audience also gave the Xiaogui team the most enthusiastic cheers. Oh! Oh! On the podium, several members of the Xia national team were also paying tribute to the American team and the Norwegian team. Only a great opponent can force out the strongest self. There are also the most exciting games. Although these games do not have many games, they will definitely become classics in the history of PlayerUnknown's battlegrounds. Every game. In this game, every collision between the Xia national team, the Norwegian team, and the American team is filled with excitement and sparks hitting the earth. No matter it is 1 year, 2 years or 5 years later, I am afraid there will be people who will continue to save it, dig it out, and watch it. Just like those classic sports games. Mao Xiaomo and Jean shake hands again. Jeans also fully accepted the facts and gave Mao Xiaomo his most sincere blessings. This time, I lost. Mao Xiaomo also patted Jeans on the shoulder. Just like Li Zongwei and Lin Dan. Without such a strong opponent, he cannot inspire the best of himself. If it were Mao Xiaomo standing in Jean's position, after being overturned in 1v3 before winning the championship, he himself didn't know whether he would lose his fighting spirit and spirit like Jean's. No one dares to be sure about unknown things. Not even Mao Xiaomo himself. Don't look at me like that. We will be teammates from now on. Mao Xiaomo smiled. I'll beat you. Perhaps having been strong in this field for too long, Jeans finally found his lifelong rival. Mao Xiaomo shrugged. Do they still have a chance to be rivals? Mao Xiaomo didn't even know the answer. Just standing on the podium, Mao Xiaomo didn't think about anything else and just enjoyed the moment quietly. Beautiful. Unforgettable moment. Let's wait until later to decide what to do next. When something reaches its peak, your love for it will definitely have an impact. The moment and process of getting to the top is what everyone really wants. Everything. It's coming to an end. Although the audience in the stands was reluctant to give up, there was still some madness left. But still gradually left. The game is over. Their madness is over. Boom. Boom. Team Xiaogui just entered the lounge. Mao Xiaomo's head was filled with champagne. Not drinking champagne though. But this rich flavor. It still made everyone jump. Awesome. Ha ha ha. He might as well open the champagne and spray it towards Mao Xiaomo while laughing. There is still the smell of champagne from the Dota 2 club that just won the championship. Ha ha! Maybe in UZI said congratulations to you. Kid! No need for a treat. Someone shouted. And everyone laughed. Before going to Tokyo, as the captains of the 3 major esports events, everyone still remembers what they once said. Whoever doesn't win the championship will get a treat. Having said that, no one thought that all 3 teams would win the championship. Especially PUBG. Xiaogui's FPS weakness has completely disappeared. Mao Xiaomo drank champagne that was not delicious. Tears and champagne. Zhou Yang squatted on the ground crying. No one can feel his pressure. Now, it is finally released. Everyone was laughing and shouting. Celebrating like crazy. This is their moment. Do not talk. I really won't come home until I'm drunk tonight. You won't come back until you're drunk. Chapter 783. Things are different, and people are different. For Mao Xiaomo, this was not an ordinary night. He fulfilled his dream. First as a dream, and then as a thought. 2 years ago, he himself could not have imagined that he would be able to stand on such a stage. Very true. Yet very false. A missile exploded into the sea. But as the owner of the missile, Mao Xiaomo turned around. He did not look at the aftermath. Even though the domestic media had already hyped him up. After realizing his dream, Mao Xiaomo did not feel disappointed, but full of fulfillment. This is just a mountain in his life, but not the peak. Tokyo. Sakura Park. Mao Xiaomo and Cheng Yao leaned on the railing, watching the Japanese children playing in the evening, the Japanese sunset, and the strange scenery in a foreign land. What a beauty! Cheng Yao chuckled. What time is the flight tomorrow morning? Mao Xiaomo asked. Cheng Yao still had her homework to finish, and she came here just to cheer for Mao Xiaomo. 8:30. Okay, I'll see you off then. Under the setting sun, a couple cuddled together. The beautiful scenery of the park and the setting sun looked like people in a painting. Xiao Mo, what are your plans next? Cheng Yao asked. Mao Xiaomo didn't answer. He thought of PCI and what he had said to Cheng Yao's father. Cheng Haijun. During the halftime break, Mao Xiaomo said something at that time. I'm going to get to the top of this game, and then continue to pursue what I want to pursue. Mao Xiaomo shook his head. I probably won't fight again after Liquid's contract ends. This answer did not exceed Cheng Yao's expectation. These things have been thought about before, but they have not been spoken out until now. Liquid's contract was signed in June last year for 2 years, which means that the contract will not be completed until June next year. But during the day today, Mao Xiaomo had already met Chris and told her his thoughts. Mao Xiaomo's ability to lead Liquid to the dynasty has exceeded Chris' expectations. And for Liquid now, there is no shortage of talent. Iron, brought out by Mao Xiaomo, and MC, a newcomer who is now in Liquid's. They all have the strength and potential to surpass first-tier players. What Chris means is that once Mao Xiaomo chooses to retire, MC will take Mao Xiaomo's place and join the Liquid team. Mao Xiaomo does not feel any surprise about this result. Of course, it's a pity for Chris. Mao Xiaomo is not only the strongest player in the world, but also the captain and top card of their Liquid team. It's a pity that this news has not spread yet. Chris means that I will rest until April next year, then play PCI 3, and announce my retirement after playing, Mao Xiaomo said. After all, he still has a 1-year contract, so there is definitely nothing wrong with taking a break in the middle. But if he just doesn't participate in the game in the remaining year, it will definitely not be in compliance with the regulations. Go home and rest for a while. I should probably travel around the world. Cheng Yao looked up at Mao Xiaomo. She had never heard of Mao Xiaomo thinking like this before. But it does look like Mao Xiaomo's style. Europe, Asia, Oceania, America. These places are mysterious and yearning for everyone. As Mao Xiaomo himself said, he was just fulfilling his wishes one after another. As for the plan for 1 year later, just like those young people with dreams, study and struggle. As for what to do in the future, whatever Mao Xiaomo wants to do, he will do it. Okay, I'll wait for you in the United States. When Xiaoguo was intoxicated with the joy of Xiaoguo winning 3 esports events, Liquid's official Weibo also released news of Mao Xiaomo's rest after congratulating Mao Xiaomo for leading Team Xiaoguo to win the championship. Liquid Esports Club, after the Olympics. Liquid captain and commander de novo, Mao Xiaomo, submitted a leave application to the club. After internal discussions within the team, it was decided to respect de novo's personal choice and grant his leave application. The club decided to move Liquid's attack position MC, Zhou Yang, to the home team as the main attack position. Zhou Yang joined Liquid in January and lived in the Liquid youth training camp. Liquid 2 Team Liquids performed well in the Olympic finals and helped Xiaoguo team winning the championship. I look forward to his performance in Liquid. As soon as this news was sent out, it immediately occupied the first place in Xiaoguo's Weibo hot searches. Mao Xiaomo's Weibo also stopped at those 4 words. I posted it the morning after winning the championship, and it already has 100,000 plus replies. The content is only 4 words. Live up to expectations. The heavy pressure was finally lifted, and Mao Xiaomo's decision to take a rest became much easier to understand. Finally, the relationship between the Xia State Esports Administration and Mao Xiaomo is no longer so tied. The Olympics are over. Even if there is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds in the next Olympics, it doesn't matter what happens to Mao Xiaomo. While celebrating wildly at home, Mao Xiaomo once again disappeared from public view. Just like last year. Only the difference is, this time was the peak. The last time was the trough. IFCD training room. What? Mao Xiaomo went on a trip. Is he alone? Yihao said in disbelief. Well, alone. Awesome. I don't have to worry about being panicked if no one talks to me for months. Wang Hao laughed. You don't understand. You don't have that level. Zhou Lili also smiled. Good leaned on his chair and was thinking about what he said to Mao Xiaomo that day. Mao Xiaomo, you still have 1 year of contract. Go back to IFCD and play professionally. We two brothers will achieve greater glory again. Do not fight. I should stop playing after this contract is over. Good was a little stunned when he got this answer at first. But then he thought about it and felt that it was not incomprehensible. There is really no way to return some things to their original appearance. Good thought about the time when he first entered Chengda University, when he quarreled with Mao Xiaomo, was beaten by the coach, and when he met everyone in the first on-campus qualifiers. Good laughed. Huang Mao, why are you crying? Good didn't hear Zhou Lili shout, and was still recalling the past. The best time in his life. Really? I really want to go back. Mu Yun stayed at Chengda. Cheng Yao studied in the United States. Mao Xiaomo was about to retire. And he? Former CD? That's fine. I won't fight. What? I don't want to be a professional anymore. Chapter 784 Travel. Are you serious? There will be competitions in September and October soon. Good's words brought everyone together. They saw Good cry for the first time and then said these words. Well, no more fighting. There is no more initial happiness. Everyone was about to ask why. But this sentence choked everyone back. For this reason, they couldn't find any problem. Enthusiasm fades. He has forgotten why he came to Xia Kingdom in the first place. But he will never forget his time in CD and Chengda. Wang Hao patted Good on the shoulder. They have known each other for a long time, and know what kind of character this Ukrainian guy is. Then what are your plans? It was good to see that Good had decided to leave, and did not continue to try to stay. Good. Wang Hao. These first-generation IFCD members are all people who have no contract problems. They can leave when they want, and stay when they want. Go back to Ukraine. Good laughed. Aren't you waiting for Mao Xiaomo? What's there to wait for? It's not like I'm leaving and never coming back. Good. Today is the day for old CD fans to say goodbye to any CD. Good. CD_Godric. IFCD_Godric announced their retirement without warning. When Mao Xiaomo saw the news in Finland, he called Good immediately. Where? Drinking with Mu Yun. Good on the other end of the phone is also saying goodbye to his old friends. Tomorrow, he will also embark on a journey back to his hometown. You really don't want to fight anymore? If I don't fight, you won't fight. To be honest, it's really boring for me to fight alone. Oh, that's right. Mao Xiaomo smiled. I'll go back tomorrow. Ukraine? Fine. Keep in touch, and I'll have a drink with you. Hurry back to China. I'm going to Ukraine for a visit soon. Why don't you make a fool of me? Good. An otherwise huge storm. All the original CD4 people left. Just like what the post on the internet said. It's over. It's all over. Just 1 month after the Xiagwa team won the championship, news was released that Mao Xiaomo would retire after playing PCI 3 in April. The whole Xia Kingdom was in an uproar. A top-notch talented player, choosing to retire once he reached the top. Despite all the reluctance, to Mao Xiaomo's fans, they are just fans. PCI 3 will be Mao Xiaomo's last stop. After 2 months, the reorganized Liquid won their first championship. Liquid's dominance can no longer be matched by anyone. Iron and MC, after being tempered by the Olympics, are now talented players who can stand alone. Their strength is infinitely close to that of the 5-star SSS. The veteran Ibiza is still stable, and James is still as dazzling. Although this Liquid is missing Mao Xiaomo, it is still difficult to find an opponent in the world. Iron is no longer the Iron he was 6 months ago, and MC is no longer the MC he was 6 months ago. And IFCD also ushered in their glory. Wang Hao, Zhou Lili, plus 2 newcomers. In the second season of the Douyu Professional League, they defeated 17 OMG and other strong teams with an absolute advantage, won the championship without any suspense, and qualified to enter the World Championship. They will also compete with world-famous teams such as FaZe and Liquid. A new round of confrontation. This is a challenge from Xia Kingdom. Only this time, the Xia army did not achieve good results. After winning the Olympic Games, he once again experienced setbacks. How much Xiagua's fans miss Mao Xiaomo and the man who shouted arrogantly that we can't lose. And that man is dancing hula right now. Like a miraculous story, Now the story ends and everything returns to peace. But everyone will smile when they recall this story. And he still has one game left. And he'll be back. Half a year. Apart from talking on the phone with Chung Yao and his parents, Mao Xiaomo wanders around the world. It's been a wonderful journey. Mao Xiaomo would squat on the roadside in Venice and listen to his grandparents telling their stories about their past. He would also lie on the snow in Finland and watch the beautiful aurora. And he would stand on the peaks of the Alps and shout loudly. As people grow up, they have to experience more things. See and hear. In half a year, Mao Xiaomo has become a lot more mature. The mind is also calmer. The 1.4 billion people in the Xia Kingdom may feel this feeling of freedom. Only 1 in 100, less than 10%, can feel it. Mao Xiaomo is lucky. Life does not put pressure on him. Everywhere Mao Xiaomo goes, he writes down his experiences and feelings in his notebook. Maybe after returning to China, he will also publish an autobiography. It is not to make money. He is not short of money, but to record his own stories. Starting from just entering college. All his own stories that he wanted to share with everyone. Mao Xiaomo is like a boy in his dreams. Doing things that everyone wants to do but can't. This is the reason why Mao Xiaomo wrote his autobiography. When you are really immersed in something, you will feel that time passes very quickly. Half a year passed quietly. Mao Xiaomo's world journey is only halfway through. But it's not a big deal. The other half. He wants to go with his other half. The return date has arrived. And Mao Xiaomo also embarked on his return journey. Outside the liquid base, a man carrying a large bag stood in front of the door. Familiar shouts also kept coming from inside the door. Ibiza shouted, "Someone is coming! Someone is coming! Direction 200? A team of people! You can fight! You can fight!" On the other side, Jeans has obviously become the commander of this liquid. But unfortunately, it does not seem to have the same effect as when Mao Xiaomo commanded. While giving the command, Ibiza was still screaming. The moment Mao Xiaomo pushed the door open, Ibiza's eyes lit up when she was facing the door. And she threw away her keyboard. "Wow! Oh God! You are back! It's just a live entertainment game." But this is what Ibiza said. Instantly exploded on Twitch. Countless bullet screens flood the screen. The characters of Iron, MC, and Jeans have also stopped one after another. One by one, they were killed by passers-by. And several of them also gathered around Mao Xiaomo. "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You are finally back! Chris is so excited about it!" Ibiza laughed loudly. "Isn't this back?" Mao Xiaomo's eyes were brighter than half a year ago. And half a year's travel had also brought about an earth-shaking change in his whole temperament. Chapter 785 Mao Xiaomo will not disappear. The start of PCI 3 is getting closer and closer. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds enthusiasts from all over the world, as well as Mao Xiaomo's fans, have gathered in Shanghai to watch Mao Xiaomo's retirement battle. In the past 6 months, although Liquid is still ranked first in the world, it has still lost several championships under the impact of many world-leading teams, and its results are not particularly stable. Everyone must know this reason. Losing a leader is also a huge blow to Liquid. After this game, Mao Xiaomo's contract with Liquid is about to expire. According to the exact news, Mao Xiaomo will officially announce his retirement after the PCI 3 game. In the few months between the Olympics and PCI 3, Mao Xiaomo has already asked for leave from the Liquid Club. The Liquid Club also has great respect for the Xia talent who truly brought Liquid to the top of the world. On the first day that Mao Xiaomo returned to the club, Liquid's official media released pictures of Mao Xiaomo going into training. Strictly speaking, the last game is a farewell game for a player who is about to retire. There is no need to find the game status many days in advance. The Liquid Club also has no performance requirements for this PCI 3. But people who know Mao Xiaomo well know that Mao Xiaomo is competitive and strong, and does not allow himself to be left to his own devices. In fact, this was not beyond their expectations. For the outside world, nothing is known about Mao Xiaomo's training status. Xiaogui, Shanghai. Thousands of PUBG fans have gathered here to watch this destined to be extraordinary game. Whether God Mo is still the same God Mo, and what kind of performance the final battle will leave the audience, are actually unknown. Mao Xiaomo also met many old friends. Unfortunately, Good had something to do in Ukraine, and did not come to Xia Kingdom. The game also started as scheduled, amid the cheers of countless spectators. The first day of competition was somewhat beyond everyone's expectations. Liquid dominates 3 chickens and reasserts its dominance. 3 chickens in 4 games. Long lost dominance. Even though Mao Xiaomo left Liquid for half a year and returned to Liquid, he still brought everyone endless surprises. The strong are always strong. Although Mao Xiaomo's personal kills are not as many as half a year ago, he is still second only to James on the kill list. This is also a foreseeable result. As the only Grand Slam player in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Mao Xiaomo's strength is undoubted. And what's more important is the atmosphere of the team. As good friends, James, Ibiza, and Iron are also extremely serious and want to give Mao Xiaomo a good ending. The game lost its suspense on the second day. Matthew, the core of the EG team and a former member of the US team, wrote on his social media after the game the next day. FXCK. I haven't played PUBG for half a year and I still can't beat him. It was exactly what they said. The third day is the day with the most people, because it was the last game of Mao Xiaomo's career. The game went to the last one. In the previous 11 games, Liquid was far ahead with a terrifying 6 chickens, and had already secured the championship several games in advance. But because it was Mao Xiaomo's last game, this game was also given infinite significance. In the finals, Liquid is still fully staffed. In this game, Liquid played much more cautiously than usual. Everyone wanted to give Mao Xiaomo a happy ending. Then I would like to thank my girlfriend, my lover, who has been silently supporting me these past few years. Mao Xiaomo is just a wild boy, but this wild boy still has many dreams he wants to realize. Everyone who is looking at me and Mao Xiaomo talking, I hope you won't be defeated by reality. In this world, only struggle can change destiny. I love you all. I love PUBG. Mao Xiaomo choked up again. He didn't think of it himself. Standing here again, he will burst into tears again. In fact, it was not just him. Many fans who liked Mao Xiaomo felt a deep sense of disappointment at the end of the game. However, looking at this handsome young man standing on the stage, everyone seemed to have seen the way I look. Mao Xiaomo picked up the phone, smiled and said in the most sincere words, Mao Xiaomo will not disappear. Mao Xiaomo in everyone's hearts will not disappear. Chapter 786 Love and Memory, Finale Chapter. 10 years later. In the warm home, the most eye-catching blue and white curtains are Chung Yao's favorite color. On the computer screen is a game screen from 10 years ago. This is a video about Mao Xiaomo. In front of the screen, a family of 3 sat. Watch this video quietly. In the beginning, Nanjay was like a mountain on CD's face, just like the pistons that trapped Jordan to death. It was so powerful that it made people despair. But that CD has the most powerful cohesion in the world. They are brothers and partners, and they can completely trust each other's back to their teammates. That's a dream team. The pursuit of dreams is the most dreamy. Countless people enjoy the journey of chasing their dreams. And so does Mao Xiaomo. Mao Xiaomo and his CD, his lover, and his brother won the CUL championship in a dream. This is also the most special one among Mao Xiaomo's countless championships. It was this championship that started Mao Xiaomo's career journey. And the world also changed from a dream to a reality. The defeat at PCI was a heavy blow to Mao Xiaomo. It was the last professional game of his lover, Chung Yao. But this defeat did not destroy Mao Xiaomo, but awakened a sleeping giant. Since then, this genius from the East has truly risen. The picture shows the Olympic finals, the scene where Mao Xiaomo made a huge comeback. In the entire Xiaogua team, no one lost confidence. United as one, even without any words. You can feel its power. At the end of the game, the Xiaogua team reveled. On the other side, the lonely James. James sat in the interview room and recalled the runner-up. Then, we are one step away from the championship. I have even seen reporters, media, and cameras behind us, all given to us, ready to capture the championship. James still feels bitter when he thinks of this period of time. Even though he has won numerous championships, he has not succeeded in taking the first position after Mao Xiaomo. In that position, Mao Xiaomo adopted a very good strategy. It may also be the only solution in such a desperate situation. Losing without temper. James smiled bitterly. This biggest opponent also gave Mao Xiaomo the highest praise. Finally, win the championship and retire. Mao Xiaomo is like a shooting star, dazzling and bright. He is what each of us dreams of. What he gives us is blood, youth and memories. Okay, that's it for this esports record. See you next time. Dad, you are so awesome. Mao Duo muttered. Her eyes were filled with stars. Her father, Mao Xiaomo, had watched this video for him at least 100 times. She barely memorized it, but every time she praised her father, she could feel that his father was sincerely happy. Cheng Yao also grew up to be a great beauty. Smiling from the side. What does it smell like? What does it smell like? It's over. It's over. Mao Xiaomo clapped his hands and let Mao Duoduo off his body. Are you cooking? Cheng Yao's eyes widened. If nothing else happens. Confused. Mao Xiaomo, what are you doing? Huang Mao Muyun said today that he would come to our house to pay New Year's greetings. Many years later, PUBG will be replaced by better and more gorgeous games. Perhaps many years later, children will not know what PUBG is. However, that once beautiful scene of fighting in school and the airport with brothers, friends, and the girl I like will still appear before my eyes, one scene after another, carrying our love and memories. That's all.